Welcome back. In this next segment, we continue our exploration of slow travel. This time we're in France, in the beautiful Loire Valley. And our choice of conveyance is a river and canal cruising barge. But it's not just any barge, it's a luxury barge, and it comes equipped with a gourmet chef and an expert tour manager. Together we'll be exploring the chateaus, the wineries, the beautiful villages and traditional crafts of this most historic area in France. Stay with us. Canal barge travel is a throwback to a kinder and gentler way of getting around. It allows you to downshift from the breakneck speed of the lives most of us lead these days to a slower pace, more in tune with nature and the rhythms of the French countryside. We're aboard the Horizon 2, which is run by French Country Waterways and carries 8 passengers and 6 crew members. I shot a travel magazine story about a canal cruise in Burgundy run by this company over 20 years ago, and they've brought me back over the years to capture still and video imagery for them. For a Francophile foodie with a penchant for slow travel, it's a dream assignment. Our route for the week, along a canal first built in 1604 to connect the breadbasket of France to the capital city, is probably less than 50 kilometers in length. But it's not the distance covered, it's the quality of the journey. Today, we're visiting the town of Gien, known for its beautiful location on the banks of the Loire. It's market day, and the stalls are chock full of all the goodness the French countryside has to offer in the spring, much of which we'll enjoy later on board. Then, it's on to visit the town's famous pottery museum and factory. Back on board, we're greeted with some refreshments by our liveaboard chef, Corinne.
And a little slice of cucumber. Today we're having a simple taboulet, which is semolina.
We soon come to appreciate that Corinne is nothing short of a culinary genius, turning out some of the best meals I've ever eaten in her little 4x6-foot galley. It's pure magic. The Brière Canal was completed in 1648. It took 12,000 workers over 40 years to finish. And it was the first canal to feature what they call pound locks, which have gates at the front and rear of the lock to fill and drain the chamber with water to raise and lower the barge as needed. No trip to the Loire Valley is complete without a visit to one of the area's striking chateaus. And today's excursion takes us to the Chateau de Sully-sur-Loire. Over the centuries, this UNESCO World Heritage Castle Fort has provided protection to many French luminaries who fell out of favor with the government, from Joan of Arc in the 1400s to Voltaire in the 1700s. Another excursion takes us to the Sancerre region, where, for 10 generations, the Bourgeois family have been wine growers with a passion for developing Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noirs of great character, under the famous Sancerre and Pouilly-Fumé appellations. During our visit to their vineyards and cellars in Chavignoles, we learned all about how the unique mineral content of the soils in this area give these wines their distinctive terroir, the flavor of the land. That evening, we visited the Auberge de Templiers. It started life in the 11th century as one of many way stations along the route to Jerusalem that provided aid and shelter to knights on their way to the Crusades. Today, it's a beautiful hotel with a restaurant that boasts a coveted Michelin star. The experience did not disappoint, but I have to say, I like Corinne's cuisine just as much, if not more. The languid pace of the days on board help you appreciate the little nuances of country life along the canal. And it leaves plenty of time to have some fun, like when our Captain Sam knows we'll be cruising past the school during recess. He usually dons his Captain Jack Sparrow getup, much to the delight of the school children. And the captain himself, if truth be told. It's our last afternoon on the canal, and we visit the charming town of Montargis. Nicknamed the Venice of the Gâtinais for the many canals that crisscross the town, it's full of beautiful little squares and half-timbered houses. Tonight is the captain's farewell dinner, and Sam decants the wine from a very special vintage. Later, we sit down to one of Corinne's finest meals. I can't think of a better way to cap off a delightful week, enjoying life in the slow lane in the French countryside. Well, I hope you enjoyed our explorations of the canals of the Loire Valley. And going by barge is the perfect way to slow down and really savor the pleasures of the French countryside. I'm Bob Christ. Thanks for joining me.